just going back to last week, there was a huge British clash.
What fight was that?
In the World Boxing Super Series semi-final.
What fight was that?
George Groves versus...
No, what fight was that?
George Groves versus
Don't wind me up
Eubank Jr. According to my knowledge, I think you predicted 9th or 10th round stoppage for
I actually predicted 9th round stoppage for Chris Eubank Jr. And I have to say this now, and I hold my hands up. You know what I mean? Because I hold my hands up to say how wrong I was, because we saw George Groves, who it's Howard Wilson that said, "He who rejects change is the architect of decay. The only human institution that rejects progress is the cemetery." Now, check this one out. George Groves, accepting change, left Adam Booth, went to Paddy Fitzpatrick, never worked out, left Paddy Fitzpatrick, ended up with Shane McGuigan, right? George Groves has adapted his style to not fight like the George Groves of old, knows that he can fight like the George Groves of old, but only in pockets, in spurts. He can do that. So what he done is very good, because he gains range. He gains range, and every time that Eubank tried to come in with that right uppercut, very, very clever, because he would just, what George Groves would do is just lean over, you know what I mean? He'd lean over onto the left shoulder of Eubank, so Eubank couldn't administer it. And if he did administer it, he'd throw the uppercut, but it would actually hit him on his arm. And you know what I mean? Hence why maybe that was part of the reason why his shoulder came out in the 12th round. Very, very smart game plan. Very, very smart game plan. All the credit in the world should be given to George Groves. Nobody shouldn't say like Chris Eubank Jr. didn't turn up. And the reason why I was quoting Howard Wilson, who was the former British Prime Minister, because the person who can accept change, you will have longevity in anything that you do, because you're constantly renewing yourself. It says in scripture, you know what I mean, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewing of your mind is to learn new stuff. I want to know, what has Chris Eubank Jr. learned since the defeat? He's still back on Instagram, back in the gym, doing the same thing with a guy, and I'm not disrespecting his trainer guy, the guy he does his pads with. You're a pad man, you don't know boxing, man. The reason why you don't know boxing, man, I really do know the game, I don't know you. So and that's no disrespect to you. So don't try and see me when we see at press conference, try to run off your mouth, because you know I'm South London, so don't try that rubbish from me. So I'm watching that now, and I'm saying to myself, George Groves went there with a game plan. He had about 3 game plans. He only needed one to win the fight, and it was the one that he chose that won the fight. What game plan did Eubank Jr. go in there with? When I see a guy standing in the middle of the ring, and we know you got fast hands, we know that you could punch in volume at a ridiculous pace, but you didn't want to admit, you didn't want to press that button. So you were throwing away rounds, and at the time when you said, well, it's time for me to grip my teeth now, bite down my gum shield, it's too late, because George Groves was 4 or 5 rounds ahead. So I'm not saying you threw away the fight, but your lack of, you build yourself on this fact that you are this intense person. And this is no disrespect for them, because everyone knows me, know that I love Eubank Jr. and I actually love the dad. I've got so much time for him. You didn't commit. You know what I mean? Darren Barker was telling me like, oh, he's going to be so far behind on points. I'm saying, Darren, what are you talking about? In my mind, I'm saying you're just backing him because you both support Chelsea. But on the reels, props to Darren Barker as well, man. You know what I mean? He dropped knowledge on the knowledge last week when he did hashtag toe-to-toe with me. He didn't commit, and he regrets it now. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, it's about fundamentals. Do you understand? Where were your fundamentals in the fact of you knowing when to throw jabs, you knowing when to double up on a jab? Simple thing that would have been to his benefit in this fight. If he'd have doubled the jab and threw a straight right hand to the body. That's all he had to do all day. But he didn't want to commit, because when he's in punching range, he felt the power of George Groves, and it kind of put him in his shell, and he thought, oh, I'll wait when he gets tired and then I'll try and point on him. And when you did, you didn't know how to close the distance properly, and you were over-exacerbated by your punches, and you were becoming cumbersome with your shots, and you lost that fight. And the hurtful thing to me is, like, within my mindset, I think that you could do way better than that, but you weren't allowed to, and you've come up second best. And now you have to implement change. If you don't implement change, you're going to repeat the same nonsense that you did in the last fight. Kind of similar to Billy Joe Saunders, but we gave you a squeeze then because the embryonic stage of your career was early. But now, I don't know what you're going to do now, man, seriously.
Did you hear Prince Nassim's comments? Oh.
And Prince, listen, next thing, big up Prince Nassim. I've always loved Prince Nassim Hamid. Been a big supporter of anything that I've done, from when I've been promoting, training, managing, now that I'm doing TV stuff. Big up Prince Nassim Hamid. And he was right in what he was saying. I don't know about, no, he should retire. I don't know about that bit, right? But he's right to an extent. Because I'm saying, you can't talk all of this gas talk. You and your pops talk the gas talk, and then you ain't got no balloon to fly the gas, so it's just gas. And that's the sad thing, because I believe that he's better than this. But you need the fundamentals. You can't have a well-respected man of experience like Ronnie Davis in your corner, right? And not a dare nothing from the guy. The guy's got knowledge, and you don't even use it for nothing. You know what I mean? You saw, and there's no disrespect to Chris Senegal. Chris Senegal, when Eubank was cut, there was panic in his hand when he was doing. Go watch. You seen the fight? Have you watched it afterwards? The man's hands were shaking. You understand? The man's hand was shaking like he had Parkinson's. Why is that? Because you're nervous. No, let's know more about this talk, man. No, I don't want to talk about any more. You want to hear any more? Hear myself and Andy Scott on on Ringside Total Talk podcast, where I'll give you the full breakdown.
Just one final quick question on, in terms of his relationship with his father. Everyone knows he has a very strong relationship. Do you feel like he just can't move away from that relationship and go away and work with this Ronnie or work with another trainer?
No, because it's not a case. Why are you trying to bring the father in? Like, oh, it's the dad's fault. It's not the dad's fault. Because the dad. It's not per se. Because listen, you got to remember this. I remember sitting down watching Chris Eubank senior from a child. And I was amazed by the man's tunnel vision. Do you understand? But I'm looking on those kind of things. I'm saying, you had that tunnel vision because you come from nothing. You understand? You didn't, you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying adverse poverty, but you didn't come with a silver spoon in your mouth. Your son kind of has, but your son's just a rebel. That's the difference. But you came from something where I can say, well, I can see the grit. You're some little bad child where you got sent to America, you got expelled from how many different schools, and then you learned to box out there. Stuff like that. And I'm saying, yeah, well, I get that story. Where's the backdrop in somebody who has been privileged because they were reaping the rewards of what their dad put out for them? Do you understand? But you wanted to follow that same line. Okay, then it's cool, but you got to approach these things differently because you're cut from a different cloth now. You have that toughness. He's amazingly tough. Chris Eubank Jr. is an amazing athlete. He's not an amazing boxer. He's an amazing athlete. I think he could go into any sport and excel in that sport. But what he needs to do now is go and learn the fundamentals. The fundamentals.
And he goes back to middleweight or stays at super middle? He did comment quite openly about
he's not
power.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe so, but what I'm saying is you want to go back to middleweight, but you're still going to make the same mistakes because you're going to get a sneaky boxer who knows to double jab with you, and you're going to be in trouble. So I just think like it's for him just to go back to the fundamentals. When he started to finish training in America, he was trained by Mike McCullum. Mike McCullum is one of the greatest to ever do it, right? Freeweight world champion. Go back to the fundamentals of learning how to jab. Not everything is about one shot. And why were you loaded up on one shot punch power when you're not a one-shot knockout merchant anyway? You're an accumulation puncher. Work to your strengths and not your weaknesses. But now you find that your weakness should be an advantage because you can go to your weakness now, and your weakness now should be an opportunity. It's never your strengths and your weaknesses, is your strengths and your opportunities. And your opportunities now for you to come back and try and rebuild and try and maybe a little bit of humble pie, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Spencer Fearon, as always, deep and real talk.
I'm doing my thing, man.
Yourself, my man. Appreciate your time as always.
Peace. I mean, FightHype. Big up Razban, my guy from long time, and just keep on doing your thing.
Spencer Fearon from FightHype.com. Thank you very much.
Peace.